Hello, Namaste, welcome you all. Today I found some connections between what is happening in the world and whatever the spirituality people were telling for many thousands of years. One of them, just I browsed through some of the books by Lalaji Ramachandra mission, the meditation mission founders. There is a book in that in which Cheema, they say the ant is a stage of collection and storing. The human being as he is today has not only the trait of collecting and storing, but also promoted it in the name of savings for the rainy day. The person who has faith in God and confidence in himself will never hoard. Saints in all religions didn't promote saving. This is, I am just reading from the book published by the Sri Ramachandra mission. He continues with that. Suppose it's a saving for the rainy day, there is nothing wrong. He says rainy day you can save. The misfortune of it is the associated concept with it is greed. Instead of saving for the rainy day, you tend to hoard, and this is a lapse. I just draw your attention to the ant's saving also. Ant is not saving for himself or herself. It is saving for the good of the community. So saving for the community, if we take it from ant, the community flourishes. If we take that saving habit from the ant for personal reasons, then there are some problems associated with that. He says it's a greed. Instead of saving for the rainy day, slowly it becomes you tend to hoard, and this is a lapse of the system. Ants hoard, but that's a community hoard. I'm not, that's what, that he is not saying that, I'm just pinpointing that community thing in that. I'm not questioning. Ant won't say I saved this granule, I have to eat it. It is for the community, they collect it and anybody can eat it. And I'm not questioning the saving aspect of it. That's what it's saying. This savings aspect has got tendency to get into the mode of hoarding, which is detrimental for the society and to spiritual development. So there are two affected entities. One is the society. The savings, as it becomes a hoarding, the society is affected. And if it is for spiritual development, it affects the individual. But when an individual is affected, more and more people follow you, that affects the society as well. How to come out of the habit of hoarding? He says in the book, you can come out of every problem with determination, which is the only way. You recognize the problem and make a determination to come out of the problem. These two things, if it is not there, you will never come out of the problem, any problem for that matter. He says, you can come out of the problem through sadhana. There are ways in the sadhana by which you can come out. One can come out through meditation, A and B, or Guru's blessing. These are the alternatives that we have. Most of it is by only determination. The only way out of is strictly adhering to the sadhana and preserving in the path. Take for example, people indulge in the stock exchange only when there is enough money with you, you can play in the stocks. People who do not have extra do not go into the stock. Suppose if you move around with those kind of people, the chances are you also will go too. So the determination we have to add is anukulyasya sankalpa or pratikulasya varjana. You must move with such people who are determined to get out of that, and you must avoid such people who tend to go in that direction. If you give reasons saying, why can't I go just one time, that's enough for you to slip. You slip and you never come back. Determination is the main problem. Performing acts of sharing and charity will not enable one to come out of it. So because in West we tend to say 5% or 10% of your saving, you just give it to deserving people, poor people. So they have a feeling that they have done it. So they don't understand the underlying. When you are trying to save, it starts with a habit, but it jumps to the habit of hoarding. It is a consequence of coming out of it. It's a change in behavior. Once one person determined, he will not hoard. Then he will not start giving also. By giving, you will not come out, if that suggestion was to work. So he says some communities put such money, big hoarding in Tirupati Hundil, and they come out on the next day, they started hoarding. They start hoard. Their habits never die hard. So this is about that, but I'm just trying to come back to what's happening in the world. So the rich countries, the rich and poor, we are just generally analyzing what's happening. Rich and poor divide, the G20, so all these things, they come saying we are rich. So in the same thing, he is talking about how hoarding is a problem when you have to protect that, isn't it? When you have a hoarding, you have to protect that also. So protect that, you need armies. So there is a full defense mechanism you need. So you think you have a saving, you are rich. As a country, we talked about the community. As a country, you think you are rich, but there is a problem in that not everybody is rich. So we created a system of haves and have-nots in your own community, in your own country, in your own state. So all the taxes they want to give, concession to the poor, it's by following the same principle, by giving. Somebody hoard and they give it. But greed is imbibed in that system. That's where the problem comes. What is happening? The spirituality, I think it's taking over the godly will, or something is happening that shows the path where the Ukraine had the beautiful everything, beautiful infrastructure, everything, but what is happening? One day somebody came, they have to build their fortress, they have to build their defense mechanism. So it was not there. So one country has got the defense mechanism, they got the war monk. They built up only war machines, everything. They go to war and they destroy. Their intention is not to, maybe initial intention was to take over the country, but now it proves that they want to destroy. Their intention became unknowingly it becomes destruction. So in this part I'm thinking about Russia saving for arms and ammunition. They are hoarding. They got too much of machinery and nuclear bomb. So that is tested in the war. The Ukrainians take over, and in the fight, Ukrainians take over the tanks, and Russia is losing its position of arms and ammunition. Ukraine didn't have anything. The West is trying to help them with their own machinery. They are depleting their stock. Their pride was in their machines and arms and ammunition and nuclear weapons, but everything is getting depleted for them. So in G20, whatever the countries were thinking, their main strength was built upon hoarding. They got big wealth, they want to protect that wealth. To protect that wealth, they have to spend. So that was not enough. So when people try to protect their wealth, and you have to create superstructures like superannuation, you have to have society, or if you just have to create some structures so that it is not taken away by easily in the world. So destruction, so whatever savings anybody have got, the arms and ammunition for the West is gone. So much losses, so many billions of dollars losses they built upon. This is their savings. For Ukraine, their building and infrastructure all gone. So they thought it's beautiful, their savings. So that's gone. So we have seen all the buildings. What about the individual buildings built, individual houses which were there in Ukraine, all within a minute. So those people who saved for their entire life as a house, they lived there, that's different. If they saved it for their future, the investment properties all gone. So the world is saying that, but still it's not realizing the savings has got a pitfall of a greed. And protect any savings, to protect it, the expenditure of protecting it is huge. So instead the simple living could have been different. So many, okay, we take real estate here in Australia. So many people are homeless now. So in COVID time, the government, the RBA were keeping the interest rate low so that the economy could flourish. But instead of those people trying to keep the economy strong by some activities, indoor activities, there were so many live meetings, there was so many possibilities, but most of them concentrated on how to get one property, two property, investment properties. During that period, the property prices in Australia, within a short period, maybe 1.5 years time, it surged. It went up by in some estimate 32%, or in other estimate 42%. So 42% jump in the real estate value in 1.5 years. If we don't call it as greed, what else can we call? So in this greed, what was involved is the RBA, it wanted to protect. So we come back to the protection part of the hoard, the savings we call hoard, as defined by some yoga people, the meditation people, and they call that the Ramachandra mission, they say. It's not my word, I'm just using that word to make us understand that. So for our own savings also, what is the end limit? There is nothing. So fear about our future was the reason for the superannuation industry. When we live, we don't want to live and give and make everybody happy. We don't want everybody to prosper to the same level as we are. We want to create a class. We want to we want to follow somebody who is rich. We want to be following their path, and we want to be rich. One house somebody bought, he wants to buy another house. He sees another person having a house, one person having, so all the um, home appliances, all the goods that have come cheap now, so there is no use comparing that. Everybody has got a, so the world has come to a stage of individual saving. To the food was there, not there. People were fighting for food after the World War II and pandemics at that time. Now we got enough food, we got clothes, we got all the necessities of life is not costly. It can be acquired by anybody. But the only thing now everybody is concentrating on is the housing, the landed property or something. So maybe the divine is showing a path even to shed that, make it cheaper or make it, I read Genesis or Buddha's quotes and Vedas also, Kalki Avatar. What will be that state at that time? Will be everybody will be building and owning their houses. Everybody will be living in their houses. Probably the Ukraine war or whatever is happening around COVID is forcing upon us to go to that situation where everybody can live in their own house. Now, it's not a house should never become an asset. It has to be, it's like any commodity, like a TV or say utility value. House has got a utility value. You will be surprised in Australia, so many houses are kept locked for they think the tenant will come and spoil the house. They don't even give for rent. Their main intention is hoard. That house is meant for capital appreciation. Sometime they will sell it. So capital. So what are the conditions that are helping the hoarding? Is one is every dollar you earn will be taxed, but every dollar you put in your house you can get capital gains tax, capital gains tax exemption if it is your own house. So that's okay. When you own a house and you sell after 1 year, after you live there, that's a little bit okay. But still people started to do it as a habit, and they wanted to live in a house. They buy a house and they live it for the number of years specified in the law books, tax books. So they want to get unimaginable profit. So for if you take that 42% jump in 1.5 years, if somebody bought a house before that and they sell it, they get 50% of that tax, but not the other 50%. And if they hold, so that kind of windfall of profit makes everybody go for the houses. So it's very good. Maybe divine is opening up through the current government. It was thinking about restructuring the capital gains tax structure, but all of a sudden the parties and the other parties objected, so they are putting a stop for that. Probably I imagine if the divine will prevails, that will also happen, so that house will just be a normal entity, not a favored entity. That's for the individuals. But maybe if it is one house and they live in that and without any investment property, this could continue, making sure that they live in the house. And future, definitely, if it is really needed for them to sell this house, and then they can get that may come, that may not come. If with political parties will, it may not come, but with divine will it could come, as the all the scriptures are saying that. Second is about so many people are homeless, they are rented, and the rents have gone up because of the interest rate, RBI interest rate high. Probably is maybe we think the RBI governor is doing or something. They wanted to tame inflation, they are increasing it. That could be a divine part playing there, so that people who went, okay, 42% increase, 32% increase. How can on one day if it burst, what will happen? So every house will go away, like, in prices. So RBA is holding the interest rates, not holding, it's increasing every month. So it has come to a stage of 3.35. Maybe next week it can go up to 3.6 or maybe more or less, we don't know. So the interest jump makes people rethink about it. They can't sustain it, they can't service that mortgage. So newer people coming in, they can't buy, they have to buy at a lower rate only. So the hoarding part, saving part is not there in their kitty. So how can somebody buy a house? Now comes the bigger part of divine play. The labor was thinking about taxing the super. They think the super is normal interest rate, 42 to 30%. They are getting only 15% for those who are saving in the super every year. So they want to curtail, they want to stipulate a maximum of $3 million for those who have 3 million or less in their super account only. They can get the tax benefit of 15%. That they enacted, but for the fear of opposition, they put it for 2024, when the next elected government comes, 2024-25. I have doubt about it. So the third thing that is opening up is about the government thinking about superannuation funds to invest in aged care and the community houses. This is where I certainly see, we talked about the ant saving for the community. Same way, superannuation, they are thinking about treating the superannuation as saving for the community rather than hoarding. If it is for individual, when it exceeds some certain limits, it is like a hoarding, because that money is invested by superannuation for profit. So the profit motive, it's like a greed. So for when the community may need something else, the superannuation funds could be investing in something that is not needed for the community, but they can get a big profit out of it. So the thinking about making the superannuation useful for the current people, still that's an investment. That's but in the long term it will be paying off for the people who invested. So that could be opening a $3 trillion. That could be a opening up of many houses for the people who are in the for her, the people's rent has gone up like anything. Some in some suburbs, and unpublished rents have gone up by 40%, 50%, matching so that's huge. People are coming out. Yesterday somebody was in the house, today they're thrown out of the house. And previous government uh, curtailed the kind of the shared housing also. It's not shared housing, the Airbnb type of accommodation also. They come with many rules and regulations saying that after certain numbers, the only owner living there could give. So many restrictions. So the tenant, whether he is looking for a house or for a room, he is facing huge rental increases. And 1 year, so what the government tried to do by enabling only the rental raises only after a year, that provision is very good for the owners now also, because after 1 year they could raise anything. So there was a bill coming up capping the rental increases, but that was defeated in New South Wales government. Unfortunately, even the Labour joined that, and the all the parties are joining together. So they just said curbing of rental increase is not possible. There was a private member, I think private member, it was defeated. So without capping the interest, this is a difficult proposition. The Labour is thinking about that, using the superannuation fund for, even if the investment comes, it will take longer time to build. The shortage of houses is there. The second problem is the council's stipulation, hardened rules about construction. And one big builder, I mean not only builder, developer is saying you have to relax some rules so that I can build some apartments without big standards. Still it will be good, livable, and some other counts, but still that cuts the uh, cost for builders, but it's not coming. So you want to stipulate, this is what I want, this is the standard of us, but the cost of it multiplied. There was no caps for the the industry, the building industry. Everybody wanted to grab as much as possible. So it's a pure greed that drove all the industry towards this situation, where the government doesn't give away the land, partition of landing, or the lots. When they release the lots, lot of cost were inbuilt. So a lot build somebody bought a land that could be divided into 100 lots. uh, they they get a huge landfall profits by just making a big land into pieces. That comes as a cost to the buyer and the renter. So um, so why should it happen? Where is that landfall profit uh, taxed? If that is taxed appropriately, would that tax be used for providing more houses? There should be a solution for that. Why should lands cost that much? The two So building industry at least has got a work. They are working hard every day and making it happen. The cost of that building increases, that's okay. But what about the land just sitting there, dividing that land? Is it that difficult? Why should windfall profits? Why can't when the councils uh, or the state government, that's why the state government takes away the right of the council in three developments. They wanted to, I don't say that's why, but my reasoning, but their reasoning is different. The states want to have a control over councils, methodology of giving permission for that. If it cuts down, their intention is to cut down the red tape. My intention is for them, for the state or council to take that up, is to cut down the price. Red tape and pricing also should come down. Why can't when the council have the power and states are acquiring some powers like that, why can't they insist upon or a precondition in when they are uh, granting the application for dividing the lots as blocks? Why can't they insist upon cost plus 10%, cost plus profit 20%? Why can't they do that? There some, in some cases it is 500% profit, in some cases 1000% profit. So why can't government at least for few years, why can't they say by all the expenditure together and your profit cannot exceed 20%? In that case, the price of the house, the lots will come down, the proper cost of the building will come in, the developer will have some margin, still the housing prices will come down. Why do you keep it for competition to bring down the price? This can be this is a life, life for people to live somewhere. In this, if you just think only competition will make it affordable house is not possible. Greedy people take away all the land available. Whatever cheaper lands, blocks or places for construction is given, it should be given as a priority, not a percentage. It's a priority. Only if those who don't have a house don't apply, then only it goes to the investor. That should be the case. Investors, why should investor maybe 1/4% or 1/2% interest different is there in the mortgages also? Why should investors be given that kind of a treatment? Why can't investors interest be different? Or in other words, let the interest be same. Why can't people who want to first time buyers who want to buy a house and live in there with X or Y income, low income, why can't the interest rate be cheaper? Why the interest rate is applied? So this was tried in Asian countries. It was huge success. So the interest rate mechanism should take into account. The other one is APRA saying the 3% cushion for mortgage lending. Should it be applied to the first home buyers, and they have to think about applying it differentially for first home buyers and the investors. So these are the things happening. I think by divine will it's happening. So many changes are happening, and the world will be realizing the asset, whatever asset class, businesses we saw. Okay, we talked about real estate. Now we talk about the businesses. What happened to Adani Group? It went, so whichever jumped 42%, 400%, 500% jump in the shares, in 1 year, 2 year period. So many irregularities, the reports said, and it's going down. That's a sample of things to happen. So in the pursuit of greed, so we companies companies mindset is not about that, but the system makes it happen. So many companies are there that wants to provide employment, and much of employment opportunity they want to create. They want to have a cushion for their next. That's why the profit normally is used. But some of the companies, they overstretch, they want to gain. They want, the political outfit makes them go for this and that. They want them to control this sector, that sector. Then the uh, the reach, the goal of that particular conglomerate or that particular group is about getting, okay, for coal. And so for Adani group, they want, probably encouraged by the government or the party in power, they went and in search of the monopolizing the resources of the world, coal, wherever they are finding. Same thing happened in China. China wanted to grab whatever resources available around. It wants to even monopolize the routes, that is Silk Route. They were trying to lay it down. They wanted to grab all the ports of the connections. They were thinking about, they wanted to create the route as it existed hundreds of years before. So this is a, in the name of asset, in the name of future, people want to grab and hold and control things. It's not going to happen anymore. I tell you, every country, every region, every city trying to do it. At this current hour, some divine will prevail. It doesn't make it happen. They wanted to grab India, they wanted to grab the outskirts of the this the states in Mizoram and Nagaland and Sikkim. That was the reason for Chinese offensive against India. India defended very well, but the cost of defense, the cost of offense is in creating lot of expenditure in defense procurement for India and China. So as previously we discussed, saving, hoarding, and thinking about future, and too much wanted to, my country wanted to rule the world or something like that. Taking a lesson from the West is not going to help. This will be one integrated world with all the resources shared between, that has come as by byproduct of trade expanding everywhere. That's very good, but the trade's motive was to cut down the cost. So every commodity in the world has come down in price and easily affordable. That served its purpose fantastically. There's no problem. Food has come cheap. So the competition worked very well. So monopolistic ways of doing things will not work, but that's real estate as a way of storing value. And what about the currencies? Currency values fall down like anything. US dollar wanted to be the neutral currency, transactional currency, and whenever the interest rate is increase, all other resources in the world goes to support US currency. That is a problem the world is facing. That's why the world leaders, even Russia, China, India, Mexico, they wanted to have their own currency or something. So the currency has no value. So store of value has, the function of store of value is totally imaginary. That is a problem created by the systems, the international system. The transactional purpose of the money is very good, well served, and in that case, why should there be differences in the values? So a lot of things are happening. The cryptocurrencies are there to replace the fiat currencies. That's also happening. So much happening to bring the world in a path where equality is more, where everybody can have their own place to reside. That's going to happen. Everybody can work what they want. So this is happening by God's will. Thank you. We'll see you later.